Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Mucking Fun Day. Welcome back from the weekend, everyone. Did you have a good one? Was it not as great as you hoped it would? We're here today because it's news time. We're going to tell you this Mucking Fun Day.
Terrible news.
Terrible news all around. So
all of it's terrible.
The first and only international game show Before Coffee. The father and daughter podcast looking across the world started. We've just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to read live on stream. So let's pull that segue wheel and get into today's headlines. Today on Mucking Fun Day. Great, Mucking Fun Day.
Mucking Fun Day.
Sorry, I can't speak German. Steinmeier sees democracy as more threatened than it has been in decades in Germany. And Olympics organizers reportedly planning to full ban on transgendered women in all women's events. Great.
Greetings from the United States and happy Mucking Fun Day, where winter arrives in the United States as snow and cold air pummel half of the country anyway. And the Brazilians kill a whole bunch of people, but nobody on their list.
Bizarre news on a Monday. European countries back a $2.5 billion initiative to protect the Congo rainforest, which needs a lot of protecting as it's one of the biggest rainforests in this side of the world.
And the legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. It's the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
I don't know why I'm clicking two buttons at the same time. In my culture news, food takeaway. Why Spain is saying a big no to its daily diet of bread.
And from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of everywhere. This is the Marine Corps' 250th birthday. So happy birthday, Marines. It's November 10th, 2025 on Before Coffee.
Yeah, we celebrated their birthday with a list, right? The actors
a couple of weeks ago.
We didn't know, or you may not know, we're in the military.
Yeah, a lot of people get today off because they're observing Veterans Day. A lot of places, so a lot of people have today off because the Veterans Day is tomorrow.
I think we should have a Veterans Month. If you served in the military, you get a free month vacation.
I'm on a permanent vacation myself, so.
Yeah, that's what they call retirement now.
What's they call death? Death is actually permanent.
The great
the actual metaphor.
Rainbow Bridge in the sky, is that whatever?
There you go. The actual metaphor is death, not retirement. Sorry.
Okay.
You might have. There's a permanent, and then there's permanent.
There's permanent vacation.
Yeah, right.
Temporary vacation until your permanent vacation.
Like this is a permanent marker. You know why I have it? You can't throw these away. They're permanent.
There's your dad joke, everyone. Let's roll our segue wheel before we get another one.
No more. That's my last joke. I did find some Mad Libs the other day, but they're all filled up.
Those are all.
Oh, and I found one of your videos. I found one of your videos too. Did you see this? Can you read that? Or is it backwards?
I can read it.
It says cookouts, soup cookout.
Yes,
promotional video.
The school that I went to learn production, we also always had like a soup kitchen kind of thing. Every winter around Thanksgiving, for people who wouldn't be able to have a Thanksgiving dinner, you could go there and have your Thanksgiving dinner there. Very nice outreach in a small community, right? Because it's the country. Southern Maryland, I would argue, is not like a metropolis. No. So, and because people are everyone's so spread out, right? So it's easy to ignore people in poverty, right?
Southern Maryland is in Southern
Maryland. They live over
Maryland.
there in a shed, and I never see them, so I don't care about them.
Southern Maryland, to people who have never been here, is like a suburb of Appalachia. Like,
yeah, if that's even possible. But that's what it is. Yeah.
I'm saying it's a lot of inbreds. At least when I moved here, it was called SMIBs, Southern Maryland inbreds. That's what they were called. Yeah. And I actually legitimately know a guy. He's a friend of mine. He's married his first cousin. They're not going to have kids because he's been fixed, but yeah.
He's been
apparently
fixed.
You can do that. Fixed, yeah. Well, actually, he's still broken, but you know what I mean. But yeah, listen to the show. He's still broken. You know him. Anyway, you met him.
Your segue is a hypothetical for my first two stories here.
Hypothetical.
This first story is coming out of Germany. We did a story, I think, last week on Nazi symbols being painted all over a German town. And now Steinmeier is seeing democracy at threat. The federal president, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, has condemned the rise of right-wing extremism in Germany in exceptionally strong terms. He expects resistance from citizens and unity from democratic parties. This is on Der Spiegel. At a matinee at Bellevue Palace commemorating November 9th, Federal President Frank-Walter Steinmeier called for the defense of democracy in Germany, and never in the history of our reunited country have democracy and freedom so under attack, Steinmeier said in Berlin. What happened on November 9th? I don't know German holidays. So I need to look this up real quick. Is it when they were reunited,
Let's just get to the bottom of it. It'll probably tell you in the story.
Oh, yeah. No, it's when, anniversaries of the Berlin Wall. There you go. There's a lot of things that happen on November 9th, actually. Not just this. There's like a huge amount of things. I'll read that after the story. Steinmeier said in Berlin. He added that there are currently threatened primarily by right-wing extremist forces that are attacking our democracy and gaining support among the population. Steinmeier appealed to politicians and civil society to resist this. Simply waiting for the storm to pass and taking cover in the meantime is not enough, the federal president said. The federal president of Germany is telling you to punch a Nazi. That's what I'm hearing. And I have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
At an event in the Bellevue Palace commemorating the historical events of 1918, 1938, and 1989, which is not telling you what those events are. The far right lures people with the sweet poison of anger. Those up there, the supposed enemy, Steinmeier continued. They lure people with promise of authoritarian leadership and with the notion that Germany should be great again. Democrats have so much to offer in response. We have the right, the freedom, the humanity, the knowledge of what hatred leads, Steinmeier emphasized. Without naming the AfD, the federal president demanded that there be no political cooperation with extremists. Not in government, not in parliament. A party ban, he said, last resort of a resilient democracy. Whether the conditions for such a ban are met must be examined and weighed. Under no circumstances can it remain enacted while these questions are clarified, Stein. Okay, here we go. It says it, you're right, it says at the end of the story. November 9th represents the pivotal events in German history. In 1918, Philipp Scheidemann proclaimed the Republic in Berlin. So that's when they were no longer the Weimar Republic, which is what caused, I think, World War I. In 1938, during Kristallnacht, the National Socialists, which are Nazis, the National Socialists, set fire to synagogues and other Jewish institutions and persecuted and murdered Jews. And in 1989, the Berlin Wall fell. It's crazy that all three of those events happened on the same day, which I'm sure we'll talk about in this day in history, right? November 9th represents both light and shadow, the deepest abysses and the happiest of our history, the federal president emphasized. 87 years after the pogroms of November 9th, anti-Semitism.
Podgums.
Huh?
They're called podgums.
Oh, sorry, you're right. I can't. I had dyslexia for a second there. Okay. Pogroms.
Podgums, yeah.
of November 9th, 1938, anti-Semitism has not returned because it has been there. And since the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7th, 23, it has also risen dramatically in Germany. Steinmeier demanded we must fight anti-Semitism, regardless of where it comes from. And I think he's not arguing that if you don't support Israel, you're anti-Semite, but I think people who are anti-Semites are using Israel to get more anti-Semites, right? Hey, yeah, Israel's bad. Right. I agree. We should start. Wait, what? What did you say? Oh, nothing. Yeah, I'm just here to hate Israel because they did a genocide. That's why I'm here. Not to be anti-Semite. I think that's what they're talking about. Like the slow bleeding in of actual hateful people into a movement which is not built on hating Jews, right? But they're going in because they feel like they're accepted in there. You have to keep your eyes, and that's what he means by fighting extremists. Somebody starts yelling about, oh, we should kick them all out. You should probably kick that person in the face and break their teeth. But there's my shorter story. I don't know if you have a hypothetical based on that.
Well, I guess it would be nice if hypothetically they still had the Berlin Wall. I guess they would feel different about it, right? They would feel different about having a government tell you how you're going to vote, what you're going to do, where you're going to be, where you're going to stand, how you think. I mean, that's what East Berlin had for 40 years.
It's a long time, a whole generation of people just living in that.
Yeah, well, probably not 40 years, but close. Now, do you have another story, or do I move on here?
I have another story.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to news about the Olympics. This is from Chantel Bilson on the Pink News. The U.S. Olympics and Paralympic Committee has already banned trans women from competing in women's sports. The organizers of the Olympic Games are reportedly working towards a blanket ban on trans women in women's sports. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, may follow the lead of U.S. Olympics and Paralympic Committee by banning trans women from competing in all women events, according to Sky News outlets, where their sources heard. Maybe some insider. Olympic chiefs are also said to be looking at prohibiting athletes with different sex development from taking part in the games. So, if you have XYY or XXX or XXY or any of that, you're not allowed to compete in any games. Get fucked. You shouldn't have been born that way. How dare you? These changes are being considered following a presentation to IOC members by Director of their Health, Medicine and Science Department, Dr. Jane Thornton. She is purported to have highlighted the potential physical advantage. Oh no! Not physical advantages in sports. That never happens. That trans women have in women's sports, despite other studies showing that they have no such edge at elite level, and even most of the time they lose. They don't even make it to a bronze medal, let alone gold medal, because they're like, think of it this way: you are used to how your body is. Now let's take your body and make it the other gender's body, which you're not used to. That's going to change fundamentally how you participate in a sport. Maybe you don't physically change, right? Like you still have the same bone structure, but how your muscles gain muscle changes, your hormones can affect how you perform in sports. All that stuff changes when you go a transition gender. So I would argue it removes the edge you would probably have had being in a body your whole life. Then it's gone. You've lost the edge of being in that same body. You've changed your body completely, in my opinion. Anyways, IOC members were also informed on how sex testing, which is used by World Athletics, works. A ban on trans women could be introduced in time for the Los Angeles Games in 2008, although the topic is yet to be presented to a full IOC session where a decision is likely to be made. Yet again, despite other studies showing that they have no such edge, this one woman is determining that, from her own opinion, this one person's opinion, they do have an edge, because I said so. In July, in a move that aligned with anti-trans executive order signed by convicted felon Trump, the U.S. Olympics Committee rightly changed eligibility rules with a short, vaguely worded paragraph outlining the new policy. The revised policy stated that the committee was committed to protecting the opportunities for athletes participating in sports and will work with the International Committee, International Paralympic Committee, and the national governing bodies of each Olympic sport to ensure that women have a fair, safe, competitive environment consistent with the Executive Order 1521, the Ted Stevens Olympic and Amateur Sports Act. Amateur Sports Act. Wait, does that mean no more NBA stars in basketball? The move follows IOC President Christy Coventry vowing to protect the female category and athletes. Yeah, did they ask for your protection, perchance? Or you just decided to take this up with your life? I really need something to run for. You know what I've decided? Since I have nothing going on in my life, I'm going to put my nose in Olympic sports. Following the controversy surrounding boxer Imani Khalif, who was a woman, and is still a woman, and was born a woman, and has always been a woman, a cis woman, mind you, right? And she won at the Paris Olympics last year, as well as policies from athletic bodies, particularly in the U.S., banning transgender women from competing in women's sports. Coventry was clear that women's sports had to be protected because she's off her knocker. Algerian Imran Khalif, who won the gold medal in the women's 66-kilogram event, is not trans. So, not relevant. You know what? I don't think elephants should be drinking out of the pond. By the way, I hate pigs. Okay, these have nothing to do with each other. That's basically what we're just doing. But there's my short rant, yet again, on people being idiots, and just leave trans men, trans women, leave them alone. They don't want any of this attention. They just want to be alive. Sorry. Yeah,
there's really no reason to even care about the Olympics other than other athletes beating other athletes is irrelevant. Yeah. It's all about community, winning gold medals. It ain't really made of gold. They're not
It's
gold.
A nationalism thing. Yeah, we've got 38 gold medals.
You win a gold
We're the best
medal.
Country.
Your gold medal is silver dipped in gold. It's not really gold, and probably not even real silver. It's probably zinc dipped in gold. So, yeah. So hypothetically, caring about who wins and who it's a community event, man. I mean, cheaters. We're going to worry about cheaters now. Are we going to take away all the medals for all the cheaters from all over the East Germany when they used to cheat every stinking Olympics? Every stinking Olympics, they cheat. Well, East Germany got 75 medals, and then they got men basically competing. For all you know, they were cheating. So the Olympics has always been kind of tired. It's a good event for a community, but other than that, I don't care who wins. I really don't care who wins. I actually pull for a story than who wins.
I've only paid attention to the Olympics for the opening and ending because they do some crazy show, which is really interesting.
What's really sad about boxing in the Olympics anyway, and from the American point of view, is we don't put any good boxers up anymore. This is just, we used to rule that sport. Now it's like everybody's an MMA fighter, all getting shot up with steroids and cornholing each other in the back, that kind of crap. Sorry, I don't want to give any secrets about the totally gay sport of MMA, but
and there's nothing wrong with it being gay, but let's not pretend it isn't, I guess.
Let's not pretend let's pretend it's not gay. Let's pretend every one of those guys does not want to hold another guy on the mat for 5 minutes. That's not homoerotic at all. All right, next story.
Segue, Will.
Hypothetically, it'd be nice if the United States put up a boxing team for a change. That'd be great. I watch boxing to watch other countries kick each other's ass, man. Come on, man.
Next segue is a mixed metaphor.
Mixed metaphor 4. I got a couple stories, so we'll try to get through them quickly, even though they're a little bit long. I'm going to have to self-edit again. We're going to talk about the weather. First of all, Arctic blast sweeps across parts of the U.S. This is AP News. A blast of season's first frigid air was bearing down on much of the U.S. on Monday, bringing the prospect of snow to parts of the country. Not the prospect. It actually did snow. And plunging temperatures in Florida, though it may not get cold enough there for iguanas to tumble from the treetops. That's a famous thing. And yeah, iguanas have no body heat unless they get it from the sun. So yeah, they're kind of screwed in the wintertime. National Weather Service forecasters say frigid Arctic air will pour into the eastern two-thirds of the country, bringing it with a chance for record low temperatures in the U.S. Southwest, including all of Florida, where temperatures in parts of the state were near 80 degrees yesterday, and they're going to be colder today. The cold air will reach Great Plains on Monday, which is today, bringing gusty wind and red flag warnings in the region. I'm not sure what a red flag is, but it can't be good. According to forecasters, in the Great Lakes and Appalachian Mountain region will see 4 inches, which is a dusting by Appalachian and Great Lakes standards, and to 8 inches, which is a little bit harder to drive. Around Lake Erie, forecasters are warning about the prospects of lake effect snow, which I've watched many videos of the actual lake effect snow occurring last night, which occurs in relatively narrow bands that dump copious amounts of snow. It is a phenomenon can drastically increase snowfall totals that could hit in one area but miss another far away untouched because they're just recycling the frozen water from the lake that they're next to and dumping it on the land. That's all lake effect snow is. It doesn't even make it to the clouds. It just blows onto the land. In Florida, forecasters say the wind will be in the 30s degrees Fahrenheit or -1 degree Celsius. During the previous cold periods, iguanas and invasive reptile species have gone into a sort of suspended animation and fallen to the ground. Temperatures dip below 40. They usually wake up with the sun's warmth. Good way to catch iguanas. Wait till it gets cold and stand under a tree and wait for them to fall, right? It's iguana harvest.
Iguana.
Meteorologists said conditions for...
You've eaten them, haven't you?
No, I've never eaten iguana. I've eaten alligators.
I feel like you would have. You've been to Puerto Rico's.
No, I've been to plenty of places with iguanas, like Puerto Rico and St. Thomas. They're everywhere. But they're not food. They're protected. Meteorologists said conditions for road travel in northeast Illinois would be dangerous and impossible for snow accumulating faster than 3 inches per hour. As temperatures dropped across the nation in the midsection, meteorologists warned of hazardous travel conditions. Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, lake effect snow. Snow fell in Michigan's upper peninsula. Meteorologists warned of low visibility with up to a foot of snow by Monday. Now we're talking snow. Good deer tracking snow, man. Yeah, it's a lot easier to hunt animals in the snow. First of all, they kind of pull up to find food, and they leave tracks everywhere. Easy to find fresh tracks in the snow. In Indiana, where weather expects predicted up to 11 inches of snow and slippery surfaces of road travel, up to 6 inches of snow are predicted in parts of Wisconsin. So let's go farther east. Cold weather warnings issued for Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky with freezing temperatures predicted Monday morning for a large swath of the South, Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, and Georgia. You ain't got no insulation. You're going to be cold.
Well,
you think you're funny
living
in the South.
Yeah?
And of course, Ted Cruz, seeing that it's going to get cold in Texas.
Oh, he's going to go to He's going to go to Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, he's headed for Barbados. Oh, yes. Bye-bye, Teddy. All right, there's your story on the weather.
Okay, my mixed metaphor is, it looks like the librarian is draping those slumbery giants for the winter.
The who? The librarian?
Yeah, it's a mixed metaphor.
Oh. Okay.
Winter is cold. Winter is cold, like a library.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There you
slumbering giants are usually a metaphor for mountains. Right, there's
I thought you said a librarian.
Theorists that think that mountains are actually giants.
Well, that's the old Indian legends. That mountain, there's 3 sisters. They were frozen in place. All right, nice fable.
So, see, it's a mixed metaphor. Right. The librarian,
right on,
shaping those slumbery giants for the winter.
I thought you said Liberians at first. I was like, what are you picking on Liberia for?
What do the Liberians have to do with it? You have another story?
Yes, one more story. Reuters.com has a story about Brazil law enforcement going after suspected criminals and getting none of them. There is no law here, says the quote. Deadly Brazil police raid failed to capture or kill gang leaders. This is from Agardo Ricardo Brito, Luciana Magales, and Fabio Teixeira from Reuters.com. None of the 117 suspects killed were named in the criminal complaint. The raid failed to catch senior leaders of the Comando Vermelho. The operation left 120 dead, including 4 police officers. Those poor bastards, they didn't catch anybody. At least I died. Oh, wait, it didn't accomplish anything. The governor of Rio de Janeiro has touted the deadliest police raid in Brazilian history as a success, but none of the 117 people killed were among the 69 suspects named in a prosecutor's complaint, providing the basis for a raid. Yeah, we killed some people, must have been good. That's all we got.
Success.
Only 5 of those named in the criminal complaint were arrested that day, and none were senior leaders of the notorious Comando Vermelho gang, according to the Reuters review of the full police report and operation shared with the Brazilian Supreme Court. The raid, known as Operation Containment, left 121 people dead, including 4 police officers, 2 teenagers, and 99 suspects were taken into custody. Again, only 5 of them were on the warrant. The raid also failed to arrest or kill senior figures in the Comando Vermelho gang. The investigators say the headquarters of the neighborhood is headquartered in the neighborhoods the police raided. The main leader of the gang, Edgar Edez de Andrade, known as Doca, remains at large. One middle-level gang leader was detained without a shot fired, according to the police report, reviewed exclusively by Reuters. The findings challenge the official account of the raid carried out in 2 densely populated working class neighborhoods. Let's punish the poor working people. Densely populated working class neighborhoods known as favelas on the north side of the state capital. After the operation, local residents lined up dozens of dead bodies on the streets. The raid, which came a week before world leaders began arriving for the United Nations Climate Summit and its COP30, has pitted leftist President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who called it disastrous, against conservatives who say it's a model for fighting organized crime. Again, don't blame the president of the country for this bullshit. It was the mayor of Rio, and their guys going, hey, they must be criminals. They're poor. Look, I'm rich, and they want my money. They're criminals. They only want my money. They want my money. That's every rich person in the world. Nobody wants your money. They want you to go to fuck away. That's what they want. Just a clue, rich people. Nobody wants to fucking be you. I could be rich if I gave a shit. I don't care. I don't care about being rich. I see what it does to rich people. They're shitbags. Seriously, rich people are shitbags. They don't care about anything but making money, and that's it. While Lula's administration has backed police operations aimed at disrupting organized crime financials, rivals on the right, like Rio Governor, fascist Rio Governor Claudio Castro, argue for aggressive raids to seize weapons and arrest, kill gang members despite the high human cost. We're going to kill people. We don't fucking care. That's the kind of leadership you want. Sitting in the living room, mind your own, and here comes the fucking cops bombing your house and setting it on fire. Way to go. Hey, what a society. Oh, I didn't do anything wrong. Who cares? We killed some other people that did. Rio's Public Safety Secretary, Victor Dos Santos, who oversees the police, confirmed to Reuters that the government's goal in the raid was to arrest the men who had been charged, but he added it wasn't very easy to look for 69 people among the 280,000. So just kill everybody. There's your solution. Got it. We can't actually look for people. We just kill a bunch of people. And if we kill enough people, we'll eventually get them, won't we? Good point. Good point. He's got a point there. I'm totally misquoting him. Anyway. But he added it wasn't very easy to look for the 69. Although 19 of the men killed had no prior criminal record, according to the documents in the investigation, Santos said he's 100% certain they were criminals. Yeah. This is America in about 6 months, by the way. He argued that the number of people killed and arrested show that the picture's a lot worse than we'd investigate. Actually, it might be America now. Except for all the shooting. They're just dragging people off.
All the time. Oh, look at all these. A lot of people are coming to visit.
They must have been.
To get them out of the way. So that people visiting don't see them.
Still, the initial results of the raid fueled criticism from the families of the victim as well as human rights advocates. The police killed indiscriminately instead of pursuing clear objectives based on long-running investigations in the Comando Vermelho gang, one of the largest and most violent in Brazil. Why would you tell the cops anything? If they arrest you, why would you tell them anything? I'd be like, kill me. Kill me. I'm not telling you shit. Kill me. You're going to kill me anyway. Kill me. You can kill me anyway. I'm just saying, why would you tell the cops anything? Yeah, oh, we're going to round people up and get information. Why would you tell them anything? They just killed your whole family. Fuck them. Fuck them. Give them bad information. Give them wrong information. Fuck them. They're going to kill you, man. The police detained them, execute them, and it's all good because there's no law here, says Samuel Penchaca, whose 14-year-old son Michael was killed during a raid in Brazil. That's normal. 14! Wow! Though almost old enough to be, almost. Well, too old for Trump, probably. If it was a girl, Trump would have been hitting on him.
You really don't need to bring that up in this very tragic story, but I get what you're saying.
Well, I was just saying, the 14-year-olds are old enough to kill.
Yeah.
Though Pinchaha said his son Michael is one of the teenagers as part of the gang. He still had high hopes of convincing him to take a different path. He was still a child. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get him out. I just want this to end. Tara Brito, 36, said she had been waiting for anguish for hours, responsible for a 20-year-old son. Then she decided to leave home, go looking for him. She hiked into the woods in the middle of the night. Must have been some 50 bodies. Wellington, his mother, said he was shot in the head. She stabbed in the arm. Brito was among the many mothers and other residents who ventured in the hills overnight and came back with dozens of bodies later lined up on a busy street where locals and shot play soccer. Others had stab wounds. So there's a lot of dead people, and they're never going to get punished for this because
also getting shot in the head is, in, I guess, other countries, not like a war crime. You're not allowed to shoot people in the head as a police officer. That's execution.
And again, Trump is trying to give impunity to all police officers in the United States to just shoot people. He is. So again, we're going to have this. We're going to have this real soon, and don't be surprised by it when they just police raids just come in and just blow up a house and say, they were drug dealers.
And they used to do this, for anybody who doesn't know their history, right? In the 80s, they dropped bombs on black neighborhoods out of helicopters.
Oh, the Philadelphia police.
Neighborhood. Oh, there was one house that had a gang in it. Let's kill everyone in the entire neighborhood.
Philadelphia police. Yes. The Philadelphia police under a thug named Rizzo killed a whole shitload of people again. One guy. Yep.
Destroyed an entire neighborhood block.
You think this happened in the United States?
Yeah.
We're already seeing it. They just ain't killing them dead. It won't. Oh, by the way, United States is killing citizens of other countries, Venezuela, Colombia, on fishing boats from the air, bombing them, and with no proof, no evidence, saying they're drug dealers. And saying, oh, they're obviously drug dealers. They're out in international waters. What would they be doing in international waters if they weren't drug dealers? Fishing? Fishing, maybe? Fishing?
You're not allowed to defend international waters. That's what they're for.
Meanwhile, Trump is pardoning drug dealers. Consistently pardoning drug dealers. Notorious drug dealers. Human trafficking drug dealers. Okay, so anyway, I guess we get a metaphor?
Yes, my metaphor is Brazil swims in the torrent on the raft of the impoverished.
Oh boy, where's my soundboard?
Because you know, of course, that as the climate heats up our planet, that water is going to get higher. And the first people, all the rafts are going to be made out of pork, so that the rich people stay on island.
And there's your quack. Okay, let's spin the wheel.
Okay, let's spin our wheel for our next story. Yeah, we're sorry, guys. We're really hitting the hard stuff today.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll have plenty of positive news tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get it good. We'll get it right. We got to update you. There's worse news out there, believe me or not. Yeah. So there you
go. Yeah. Speaking of Brazil, you also have a mixed metaphor, so get mixing up those metaphors. Boy. European countries are investing in saving the Congo rainforest with $2.5 billion. This is from Lisandra Paraguasu and Simon Jessup on Reuters. Coming out of Brazil, which is where they're having this climate host, the COP30.
Not Brazil. Wow.
Yeah. European nations have, in the positive side of what Brazil's doing, European nations have backed a $2.5 billion plan to save the rainforest. We kind of talked about this last week. France's presidency told the United Nations Climate Summit, launching a conservative scheme that may steal some thunder from the flagship initiative of the COP30 Brazil. So Brazil was putting 11 or 12 billion into paying countries to not destroy the rainforest. That's what we talked about last week. But now European nations are also making their own for just the Congo. So not just all rainforests, but Congo as well. Mobilizing more money to protect and restore the world's last remaining rainforest is a central goal of the UN climate talks, deliberately held in the Brazilian Amazon this year to focus on the need to fight emissions from rapid deforestation. The Bellum Call for the Forest of Congo Basin initiative, led by France and Gabon, backed by Germany, Norway, Belgium, and Britain, was first reported by Reuters Thursday. Is that the 6th of November? Yes, the 6th of November. And later confirmed by France, the European Commission, World Bank, and African Development Bank. Oh, sorry, I'm drawing screens. I was like, why do I still see? I didn't see it down.
You're watching me. You're watching me read and write.
Yeah, thinking your process of reading.
That's exciting. He's writing. Look at that.
The European Commission, World Bank, and African Development Bank have also signed on. The effort aims to mobilize more than 2.5 billion in the next 5 years, along with domestic funds from Central African countries to help protect the second largest rainforest in the world. Backers said that it will also help African nations with deforestation, technology, training, and partnerships, aiming to end deforestation in the Congo Basin by 2030. The Congo, the Amazon, the world's biggest rainforests, and the Borneo, Mekong, Southeast Asia Basin, the third largest rainforest, all face threats from expanding farm frontiers, logging, mining, and industries. Right? It's not even just, we make money off the trees, but we need that land to have some animals on it, or make a farm and sell palm oil. That was famously the whole hypocrisy, right, of vegans who go vegan to save the environment, and then they consume a lot of palm oil, which palm oil, of course, is made by palm trees, which cause deforestation. So you thought you were saving the environment by consuming vegan food, but instead you're actually helping destroy the environment through palm oil. That, I think we've moved on from that, but that was a thing in like the late 2000s. You know that you're destroying the planet, right? Oh, I had no idea. The Congo Basin rainforest spans at least 6 countries in Central Africa, with the largest portion in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. While protecting the Congo has drawn attention because it now absorbs more net greenhouse gases than other forests, even more than Brazil, the timing of the news threatened to compete with Brazil's focus on a global forest fund at the center of its COP agenda. They're creating a fund for all the forests, not just the Congo. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has touted the Tropical Forest Forever Facility, TFFF, as their future of climate finance because it replaces grants with a more scalable investment. I just thought of something real quick. If this thing is under Brazil, is Europe, is the Commission worried that Brazil might corrupt? Not saying that they are corrupt, but they have been corrupt. I mean, Europeans have been corrupt too. Let's not act like Europe is free of corruption, government corruption. But I'm wondering why they decided to also announce their own initiative. Like they don't trust Brazil to run the initiative. That's, I think, how Brazil could take this, right? Oh, you think I can't run an initiative? You think I'm going to steal all the money and buy a yacht with it? In theory, both initiatives are very different, said a diplomat familiar with both proposals, noting that the TFFF would offer annual payments to rainforest nations with no strings attached. Still, the optics of two rival rainforest funds may be unhelpful added. Norway also pledged $3 billion to the TFF, which we talked about last week, on the 6th of November, the biggest contribution so far. France said it could offer up to 500 million euros to the Brazilian-led initiative. Germany on Friday promised a significant. Don't reported what that amount would be. I was hoping they would at least say match Norway, match France, or something. There's your story on trying to save the rainforest by convincing people not to burn them and cut them down. I really wish they gave me more details on what specifically this European thing did, because they gave us way more details on the COP30 fund, which is we will pay you to not burn down your forest. If you're going to make $30 million by cutting down that amount of land and selling it to a farmer. How about we just give you the 30 million? There you go. You don't have to cut down the forest anymore because you've made the money. Easy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what the European Union's plan is going to do. But the Commission has laid out. I think maybe more of a development of actually making rainforests grow. So instead of paying you to not burn your forest down, they're paying. Learn how to take care of the forest and not deforest it, like increasing.
Yeah.
Just getting rid of it. More training technology stuff. Less. We're gonna bribe you to not burn down your forest. But that's my story.
Right.
My only story.
And so this only goes to prove the old maximum: ounce of prevention is like money in the bank.
Indeed. Almost literally, that's what it is.
Perfect metaphor. I'm sorry, perfect mixed metaphor. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. This is from NPR News. MP News. It's some peninsula in.
Oh my God, I'm
Michigan,
rerolling.
I believe.
It's stuck on mixed metaphor. That's three rolls. In a row.
As I said, that thing needs to. You need to give it 10 practice spins before, just to see if it's even working.
All right.
Needs recalibrating.
Sequitur.
If we keep getting the same thing, we'll have to just take it off the wheel. Take it off the wheel all together. MPnews.org has a story. Dan Craker. It's been 50 years. The legacy of the wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald looms as large as ever. MPR News. That's some kind of peninsula in Michigan, I believe. People are gathering. Or I might be wrong. People are gathering at ceremonies around the Great Lakes this weekend to honor memories of 29 crew members who died a half-century ago in November 10th, 1975, when the Edmund Fitzgerald, the largest freighter on the lakes at the time, sank during a ferocious storm on Lake Superior. 50 years later, the loss of the ship is known as the Titanic of the Great Lakes remains one of the most famous shipwrecks in history. It's buoyed in our memories by the haunting song, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, released by Gordon Lightfoot a year after the tragedy, and the lingering mystery around what exactly happened to cause Fitzgerald to go down so quickly that the captain didn't even issue a distress call. The anniversary of the tragedy is also a yearly reminder of the size, scale, and power of Lake Superior and the Great Lakes. Bodies of water the size of inland seas where the gales of November can whip up wind and waves of hurricane-like intensity. Don't forget, lake waves are different from ocean waves. Lake waves are very local and they don't have anything to absorb all that energy, right? Until they just get higher and more scarier at some point. You can roll through an ocean wave because they don't necessarily peak as high, is what they say.
It's also the wind. The wind can be really dangerous on the lake.
The anniversary of the tragedy is also a yearly reminder of size, scale, and power of Lake Superior and the Great Lakes, bodies of water that size, and inland seas. NPR News, well, that's an ad for them. MPR, not NPR. The enduring cultural legacy ship of the ship, known simply as the Fitz, is something Kaylee Matuzak sees firsthand on days when she works at the Lake Superior Maritime Business Center in Duluth, located along the shipping canal that leads to the port shared with the neighboring Superior, Wisconsin. There's a live cam, by the way, at that canal. I watch it all the time, watch them big ships roll through there. The Fitzgerald departed from the docks on the Superior side 50 years ago, loaded with 26,000 tons of iron ore, lacatite, I think is actually called. Where's your Fitzgerald exhibit is often the first question from visitors. Sid Matuzak, a musician, self-described shipwreck nerd who grew up in Duluth and has always been fascinated by the Fitzgerald and Lightfoot's ode to the disaster. She said people often play the song on their phones as they look at the display. The center's exhibit features a life ring from the ship that was found floating in the water above where it sank, a model showing the ship as it still lies today on the floor of Lake Superior, 530 feet below the surface, split in two pieces, the bow resting upright in the silt with the stern overturned nearby. Just a few days earlier, someone from Two Harbors had dropped off 2 folders full of yellowing newspaper clippings about the Fitzgerald. Laker sinks, 29 lost, reads the headline from the Duluth Herald that day after it sank. Oil, debris, only trace of Laker. The Duluth News Tribute proclaimed the following day. They decided that ship was a Laker. I've never heard that term before, but I guess Duluth uses it. That someone saved those clippings for 50 years is a testament to how localized this is for us, and the power of Fitzgerald's memory still holds for people who live in the region. Yeah, a lot of relatives of the people that went down. That's true for Reg Mortimer of Eden Prairie, who took pictures of the Fitzgerald exhibit to send to his mom, a teacher in Milwaukee, who instilled him with appreciation for the story of the wreck and the power of our inland saltless seas. Every November, she did a unit on the Edmund Fitzgerald and the Gordon Lightfoot song, and how it all tied into Great Lakes history, recalled Mortimer. When the 729-foot Edmund Fitzgerald was built in 1958, it was the longest freighter on the Great Lakes. It was built for that specific length because that was the maximum size a ship could be and still squeeze through the Sioux locks, that bottleneck connecting Lake Superior with Lakes Michigan and Huron. Yeah, if you ever watched the Sioux locks, you need to watch them in action. Raising ships with water, bringing them down with water. It's so cool. The Fitz continually set records for speed and size of the cargo she carried as the sleek vessel completed her 5-day-long journey, ferrying massive loads of taconite. That's what it's called, taconite. Pellets from the northern Minnesota, the steel mills along the lower lakes. When Fitzgerald departed on November 9, 1975, the weather was calm, but the storm was brewing. The National Weather Service issued gale warnings, forecasting 40-mile-per-hour winds. 40-mile-per-hour winds. After midnight, the warning was upgraded. 60-mile-per-hour winds were in our forecast. Would have been wise to stay in port for a couple hours or leave a little bit earlier. Edward McSorley, captain of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and Bernie Cooper of the Arthur Anderson, another iron ore freighter, decided to travel across the lake together, the Anderson falling about 10 minutes behind. They took a longer route along the Canadian shore for protection from the storm. Well, that did not pan out too well. That choice meant that near the east end, the ships would have to turn south across the lake to Whitefish Bay. The winds now barreling from the west now gave the waves 350 miles of what's called fetch to gain momentum. 350 miles for these waves to build up and to not be absorbed by anything except what they hit. That's the last way you want a wave to hit you, because now you're rolling back and forth in danger of capsizing, explained John W. Bacon, author of the new book on the Fitzgerald disaster called The Gales of November, in quoting Gordon Lightfoot. The longer journey also allowed an incoming storm from the southwest to reach Lake Superior, where it collided, and a second storm barreling down from Canada. The subsequent modeling of weather conditions found that the Fitzgerald was lost, coincident to both time and location, with the most severe simulated and observed conditions on Lake Superior during the storm. The storm was an absolute worst possible place. The ship was in the absolute worst possible place at the exact wrong time. It was a granddaddy of the century, said Dudley Paquette, captain of the Wilfred Sykes, another ship in Lake Superior during the storm. His interview with the NPR News of the 25th anniversary of the sinking. When you're looking at 70-knot winds, steady and gusts over 100, 30 to 35-foot seas, that's quite a wall of water. Terrifying. McSorley also was sailing blind. His radar malfunctioned. Cooper was helping him navigate. Again, Cooper was the captain of the other ship, the Arthur Anderson. When he turned south towards Whitefish Point, the lighthouse beacon was out. When Cooper saw Fitz had disappeared, he radioed the Coast Guard for help, and according to the radio communication, Cooper said, "I don't have him visually. I had him on the radar. He was exactly 10 miles ahead of us." I asked him how he was making out with the problem. He said he lost those vents and he had a list. He said he was holding his own. The last time I talked to him, he said he was holding his own. I lost contact after that. So they found it years later. They retrieved the bell. We have a really long article. Let's do it justice by finishing it. All right. Regulations were strengthened. Safety training was enhanced as the aftermath. The ship design improved. For example, ships are now required to carry an emergency radio beacon that alerts search and rescues in emergency. That beacon would not have saved them. Sorry, wouldn't have saved them. The technology was available 50 years ago at Stonehouse, but it wasn't required. So you've had a sea change. Weather forecasting and communications have improved tremendously. Ship captains now receive detailed forecasts days ahead of major storms. And the real difference is that what they do with those forecasts. Just look at a map of Lake Superior to see where those ships are wherever a major storm blows. That's right, man. Look where the ships went down, for one thing. They ain't in the middle of the lake. They're anchored in somewhere, or they're tucked in, and they're running the shore close. Yeah, why do you need to go to the deep sea where all the big waves are? It doesn't make any sense. Common sense, said Beacon, has replaced hubris. Not one commercial shipwreck in the Great Lakes since that night. The families are very well aware of that. They're very proud of it, Beacon said. They know as horrible as it is to lose their fathers and their cousins and uncles because they got so much attention, their industry fixed themselves. But that's not to say it couldn't happen again, said Stonehouse. The lake is like any other sea, restless. It would hesitate. I would hesitate to say never, but I would say that it becomes more and more unlikely every day as they ramp up the capability of the vessels, ramp up safety. There's your story on Edmund Fitzgerald. 50 years ago, 29 people died. We'll have a bell ringing in about a half hour, I think. Are we ready?
Yes. For the my non sequitur is
non sequitur.
How long ago did the Titanic fall into the ocean after hitting the iceberg?
1912.
I love saying fall into the ocean like it tripped. Oh, and somebody left an iceberg here. See you guys.
13 years ago. Yeah, there was no icebergs in Superior. It was only November.
No. I don't know what I would do if there was icebergs in a lake. Well, maybe when the Ice Age comes. But there's your non sequitur. Completely unrelated to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's get our next segue for our non sequitur. It is. It's gonna roll the same thing again. It just wants to roll whatever we roll first. It wants to roll that again.
Broken, man.
The wheel is angled. Look, here we go. Okay, different thing. Bad pun. Here we go. Okay. Bad pun for my culture news, which is about bread. That's right. In Spain, they're throwing away all the bread, which is such a waste of bread. But why are they doing that? This is by Jesus Maturana, RTVE on your culture. Bread consumption in Spain has plummeted by 80% since 1960, from 134 kilos to 28 per person per year. Behind this drop is a big change in cultural and culinary tastes, with bread also blamed for people being overweight. 4 out of 10 bakeries in Spain have gone out of business. Well, that's terrible. I don't think that's real. That sounds like who would win? Who would win? Big Corn. This is a conspiracy. Big Corn. Big Corn being like, oh, don't eat that wheat stuff. It makes you gain weight. So then they said, now everyone will buy corn instead of wheat, and we'll win. Bread, the inseparable companion of every Spanish man, is disappearing from the tables at an alarming rate. The figures are stark. In the early 1960s, each Spaniard consumed 134 kilos of bread a year. Today, that amount has plummeted to 28 kilograms a year, a drop of 80% that reflects much more than a simple diet. Transformation is, above all, generational and cultural. As Jose Maria Fernandez, Secretary General of Spanish Confederation of Bakeries, that's right, there's a Confederation of Bakeries, explains, there is a radically different approach between young and old. My generation does not know how to eat without bread. Children's and grandchildren's generation does not know how to eat without bread. Does know how to eat without bread. Yeah, I agree. Bread makes me gassy, so I don't eat bread a lot. Young people have replaced the traditional food.
Put it on a sandwich.
Of carbohydrates, such as pizza or pasta. Wait a minute, that's bread. Busy. Pasta is just bread.
Busy.
Let's not. I mean, I know people are gonna. Oh, pasta isn't bread. It's wheat and egg, but in shapes. It's bread. Okay. What is bread? What is a sourdough? Yeasted wheat with some egg in it. That's bread. Anyways, sour. But pizza and pasta are not associated with being overweight and food intolerances like bread is. Even though there's plenty of gluten in pizza and pasta. This shift away from the Mediterranean dietary pattern has been progressive but relentless. The last decade, demand has fallen by more than 20%, from 34.9 kilos per capita to 2015 at 27.82 kilos in 2025. So that's not too much of a big change, but it's still pretty big, 20%. The daily shopping for bread, once a ritual, has become rare. One of the most influential factors in this decline is the misperception of its properties. There's no nutrition in bread, and that's why everyone doesn't have enough fiber in the diet. Bread has been demonized by the mistaken mantra that it is fatty, announces Silva Martin of the Association of Bakery Industries. To be fair, she might be a little biased here. I'm not saying it doesn't or does do this, but hey, what is your opinion on bread? The person who makes money from bread. You need to eat it now. This belief has become so widespread that 29% of Spaniards follow a bread diet, while 24% do not consider it necessary for a balanced diet. The nutritional reality is different. The fat content of bread is low, but the sector has been trying to debunk this myth for decades without much success. In addition, many non-tolerant people have wrongly stopped consuming products, further contributing to the decline. Ah, yes, the famous, gluten's bad for you. Gluten is not bad for you. It's a chemical state of bread that happens. That's all it is. You know, like how you add vinegar to baking soda and it makes things rise. Gluten just makes things sticky and gooey. That's all it does. Unless you actually have celiac disease, there's no reason to avoid gluten products, okay? I'm not a doctor, but I'm sure a doctor would say this, or a nutritionist would say this too. The crisis has hit the traditional sector hard. 4 out of 10 bakeries have closed since the beginning of the century, victims of the fall in consumption and problems of generational. Bread has become 30% more expensive in a decade, now mainly sold in supermarkets and petrol stations where industrial products prevail. So no artisan bread for you, no artisan sourdough. I think it's good to indicate there that, right, not only is it because people aren't buying bread, but also just people aren't running bakeries. Problems of generational placement as in nobody is becoming a baker. People are becoming data analysts or whatever. As the artisanal bakery 3 Lettres Pond announced on RTVE, what has people in an industrial level product with a very short segmentation and with a lot of yeast and very, very flat lids. The vicious circle is clear. Industrialization generates poor quality, which encourages consumption, which encourages consumption. Wow, this bread tastes awful. I'm never eating bread again. Well, that bread was made 200 breads are all made at once. So no wonder it has no flavor. Is there a future for Spanish bread? Despite the gloomy outlook, there is a growing niche of conscious consumers, which everyone should be a conscious consumer. Doesn't use those brain cells, guys. When you consume, think about it. Who are opting for quality wholemeal sourdough breads. Those who continue to consume bread are doing so more frequently. Better criteria, which indicates a polarization. The sector is committed to quality as a means of recovery. As Escarpa says, if real bread were made in all the places where bread is made, consumption of this project would increase significantly. The challenge lies in recovering the culture of good bread in a society that has radically changed its relationship with traditional food. The decline in bread consumption in Spain is, in short, a reflection of a profound social transformation. Changes in eating patterns, persistent nutritional myths, new lifestyles, and a loss of traditional gastronomic culture and the concept of modernization. Bread is not only disappearing from our tables, but it also goes a way of understanding food and coexistence that define Spain. So, if you live in Spain and you love bread, tell your friends to try bread again. And don't let Spanish bread, because everyone makes bread differently. I know we want to say, oh yeah, brain's the same. All bread's the same. No, every country, every town has its own uniqueness of how they make bread, and don't let those die out.
Yeah, it's just bread. I'm sorry. I'm done.
The whole.
I don't even understand the controversy, but that's just me. All right. So if nobody's buying your bread, yeah. Right, I'm just saying. Eat something else. Who gives a shit? You're not selling bread? Cook something else and sell it. Anyway, so nobody's buying your bread. No need to be crummy. You should rise to the occasion and toast your lovely slice of life. So
wow, that was, 5 puns? Amazing.
That was 5 puns. And yeah, all right, so I sent you a video a while back. It's going to be this day in history on the...
Yes, it is.
We might have a video.
I think we might be going...
have a
maybe
video.
You can be slower so we can make it in time. I think we're doing good too fast now for the micro.
We're doing too fast? Oh. Less technical difficulties.
We have 17 minutes. I don't know if you should make it 17 minutes. I guess we can just hang out waiting for this video to start.
It'll happen.
The segue
I'm not even done about it.
Sarcasm.
I'm not even to the bottom yet. There's a lot of crap today, so this might take a while.
Can you lean the other way? You're cut off screen. There you go.
This day in 9/11, this day in the year 911, Conrad II was elected German King of Forsheim after the death of Louis the Child. How old was Louis the Child? The last of the East Frankish Carolingians. How would you like to be that? There you go. That was a big day in the history of France or Gaul or whatever it was called.
Yeah, probably the Gauls.
Oh wait, no,
back in 9/11.
Germany.
Existing?
German came.
Germany.
It was Germany. Yeah, 1444, Turkish forces defeated the Hungarians at the Battle of Varna, securing Turkey's control over Constantinople, which is now known as Istanbul, and ushering the Ottoman conquest by the Balkans. So that was another thing in Turkey's history. 1444, in 1775, the United States Marine Corps was founded when the Continental Congress ordered that 2 battalions of Marines be raised for service during the American Revolution. It was founded in where? Philadelphia. Yes, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tun Tavern. I've actually been to that spot. It's not there anymore, but there's a Marine Corps memorial there.
It's gone.
There's a Marine Corps. There's a Marine Corps. Yeah, 1775. It's 250 years ago. So yeah, it's gone. There's a plaque and there's a memorial there. The Marine Corps flag and everything. U.S. flag, Marine Corps flag. 1879, American poet Vachel Lindsay, who in an attempt to revive poetry as an oral art form for the common people, wrote and read to audiences compositions with powerful rhythms that had an immediate appeal, was born. That's a long sentence describing somebody who was probably the first rapper, right? That's what I'm thinking here. When it says that they were revived poetry as an oral art form to the common people, wrote and read to audiences compositions with powerful rhythms. The first rapper, Vachel Lindsay, was born on this day in 1879. 1898, the multiracial fusionist Republican and populist city government of Wilmington, North Carolina was violently overthrown. And as many as 60 blacks were killed in a premeditated murder spree that was culmination of an organized month-long statewide campaign of white supremacists. So again, the fucking South has been holding this back forever. It ain't nothing new. They're still holding this back. The South is just a bunch of racist creeps. They just want to punish people for being different, and they act like they're superior in some way, and they never have been. The United States South has never been a viable economy with all the help that the North gives them, because they're poorly educated, and they stay that way, and they like it that way, because rich people control them and think, hey, you got to be what you got to be, and we're going to tell you what to be, and they like it for some reason. Well, I'm happy being stupid and ignorant. Sorry, just picking on the southern states for holding us all back. To this very day, holding us all back. 1918, Josef Piłsudski, Polish revolutionary, arrived in Warsaw to declare Poland an independent state. He was a Polish revolutionary and first chief of state of the newly reconstituted Poland. So that would have been after World War I, like immediately after, because World War I ended, what? 11/11. 1918, which is tomorrow. So it was commemorated the, the end of World War I tomorrow, the official end, or at least the armistice signing. And this Polish guy just went back to Poland the day before, and he was like, I'm in charge now. 1925, Welsh actor Richard Burton birthday, 100 years old today. Known for marrying Elizabeth Taylor. His best-known performances were a highly intelligent, articulate man of the world, weary, cynical, and self-destructive. He was a Welsh actor. Forget that. A Welsh actor. 1938, Turkish reformer Kemal Atatürk, the founder and first president of the Republic of Turkey, died in Istanbul. 1938. He was a president for 15 years. That's a long time. 1958, the Hope Diamond, one of the largest blue diamonds known, was donated to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C., becoming one of its most popular attractions. We've seen that. We have seen that at I think it's in the National Archives, actually. It might be in the Smithsonian. I remember seeing it, though. 1969, the American children's TV series Sesame Street debuted on national television, a national educational television network, later called PBS. Featured a cast of puppet characters that included Elmo, Big Bird, Cookie Monster. Yeah, the Cookie Monster. Ernie and Bert. Who we got? Oscar the Grouch.
Ernie and Bert, 1975. Legal because they're seen as a gay couple or something. They kicked them off the show. I'm not even lying. It's true. They got removed from the show.
Oh.
Ernie and Bert.
Who did? Ernie and Bert?
Yes.
When?
Last 5 years, something. I remember it was on the news.
That sounds like an urban myth. 1975, the American firefighter Edmund Fitzgerald sank during a storm on Lake Superior, killing all 29 on board. We've already talked about this. It's a mysterious demise. Inspired a Gordon Lightfoot song that helped make it the most famous shipwreck in the Great Lakes. 1982, Soviet statesman and Communist Party leader Leonid Brezhnev died in Moscow after presiding as a leader of the Soviet Union for more than 18 years. So Russian leaders do die eventually. 1990, the American comedy Home Alone, written by John Hughes, starring Macaulay Culkin and John Candy and Catherine O'Hara, had its world premiere, a huge hit, and spawned a number of sequels, becoming a TV staple during the Christmas holidays. I've watched the first one. I didn't watch the second one. I've never watched the first one since the first one, so I don't know. Not a staple here. Have you watched the first? Have you ever watched any of the Home Alone movies?
Home Alone?
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Worst parents on the planet. Holy crap.
Yeah, this is another reason not to have too many kids right there.
Right. Yeah.
Can't remember your fifth kid and leave him home alone. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, but again, they were filthy rich, so you can have as many kids. Right? They were so stinking filthy rich, they could go to frickin' New York City in Christmas time for vacation. Who can afford that crap? 2001, after 15 years of negotiations, China's membership in the world. Really? All 12 of us went on a plane? Nah, we went to New York City because we drove there. And I was getting paid per diem. The hotel was being paid by my employer. I couldn't afford that shit.
I was just saying,
after 15 years of negotiating, no, not a chance I could afford that shit. 2001, after 15 years of negotiations, China's membership in the World Trade Organization was approved, and the following day, Taiwan's membership was approved. Yeah. So China's membership, then Taiwan. They had to go make sure that China got there first. It's their egos, I guess. I don't know. One day earlier. 2007, American novelist Norman Mailer died in New York. He was best known for using a form of journalism called new journalism, not that old shit, that combines the imaginative subjectivity of literature with the more objective qualities of journalism. Way to go, Norman Mailer. Known for being Norman Mailer. 2015, German publisher Helmut Schmidt died at the age of 96. He was a chancellor of West Germany when that was a thing from 1974 to 1982. One of the most respected, influential of Western Europe's leaders. Yeah, he was holding Germany democracy for everyone to use for an example, especially the East Germans. 2019, Bolivian labor leader Evo Morales, the first indigenous president of Bolivia, resigned under pressure after monitors claimed that the election for his fourth term in office had irregularities, a claim later challenged. He got 4 terms? He was probably just holding on to power. Once you get power, you don't want to get rid of it, man. That's why they had to put it in the Constitution. November 10th, 1871 is Dr. David Livingstone was found by Henry Stanley. Who are Stanley and Livingstone? Were a bunch of explorers that were looking for the Nile, source of the Nile. On this day in 1871, according to his journal, explorer Henry Stanley greeted David Livingstone, the fellow explorer, in search of the source of the Nile River with the famous words, "Dr. Livingstone, I presume." So there you go. Livingstone, really? Stanley Livingstone. They are eventually found the source of the Nile River, which they assumed was the source, which turned out to be Lake Victoria. They named it Lake Victoria because they're British, and they do shit like that.
And I'm sure they had a different name for
William
it
Hogarth,
originally in Africa.
And it's not really the source of the Nile. It's not really the source, not the Nile, the Amazon. No, Nile. It's not really the source of the Nile, or the Amazon for that matter, because it's a lake. It's a lake that
lakes aren't sources.
Gathers together a bunch of river tributaries that are actually the source. So the source is going to be some spring somewhere in the mountains. Let's start there, right? It's not going to be a lake. Anyway, it was a nice wide place for their boats, though. Our feature blogger is William Hogarth, Indian English artist. Hogarth was born November 10th, 1697 in London, died in London at the age of 66 in 1764. Not a lot said about him. No details. Our other birthdays today, we're about 6 minutes away, I guess. 1683 is the birthday of George II. The second George that they have. They're going to have another George. Don't you worry about that, because, Prince Harry's, who's the older prince? His son is named George.
No idea.
Prince William. Prince William. That's right. It goes like this. It's gonna go Charles, William, George. Just like the kings of old, right? It went from Charles II directly to William of Orange, right? And then it took a detour. It went to George I. That was the next king, right? There was Queen Mary and Queen Anne, but the kings are all,
Yeah.
Anyway. And none of these, Prince William or Prince Charles had a female. Until later, I suppose.
I think
other
William had not William. I think they both had second-born.
Yeah, Prince Harry probably.
Yeah, Prince Harry.
Frederick Schiller, but Prince Harry would have to be for him to be in line. I don't think he's even keeping his title, is he, Prince Harry? Anyway,
no.
1759, Frederick Schiller, German writer. Was born in 1759. 1879, Patrick Pearse, Irish poet and statesman. Burton, we covered that. He's 100 today. Neil Gaiman, British writer, is turning 65 born in 1960. Other days today. United States Marine Corps birthday. Yes, happy birthday to all you jarheads out there, including me. I am 250 years old today. I don't look a day over birthday. 212. I know it. And it's National Forget-Me-Not Day. What's a forget-me-not? They are these lavender-colored flowers that are planted on graves. So if you're going to plant flowers, if they allow that in your town, what you want to plant is forget-me-nots. They bloom in the spring, and they're really pretty, and they're named forget-me-nots. So that's the whole point of the problem. Somebody who has passed away, let's try to remember them forever. National Civic Pride Day. We had an election last week, so it's about a week late to have National Civic Pride Day. And all these people are saying, damn, I forgot to have Civic Pride last week. No, I don't have any. It's gone. And it's National Vanilla Cupcake Day. So those are tasty. So those are your days, your mispronunciations. We had no haikus, did we? No haikus, no limericks, but we had puns, no. We had mispronunciations. Aplenty,
metaphors,
technical glitches, your horrible governments acting in horrible ways, and your natural disasters. This is for November 10th, 2025 on Before Vanilla Cupcakes. And we got 11:55. We're only 2 minutes short now. I hope.
Oh no, you did it too fast. You read the news stories too fast.
Well, you still got a section to do, right? Don't you have any
I do still have a section. I don't know if there's any days going on. Sunday. Oh wait, what was my? I already forgot my segue. Oh, sarcasm. Sarcasm. Boy, I sure am glad that we are planting forget-me-not. I don't know anything to be. Sarcasm is the hardest one to be. Oh, I know. Here's a sarcasm. Boy, I'm so glad Poland got invaded 20 million times so they could finally be a country at the end of the Cold War. At least they were a satellite state instead of an actual part of the Soviet Union, right? They still had their own government. They weren't like, who was part of the Soviet Union? I can't remember what country.
Right.
All the Stan countries are part of the Soviet Union. They weren't their own country. And that's why they still do crony stuff for Putin, because of that.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep. They're all like,
remember the good old days of life. There is a International Week of Science and... Wait, what does that say? PE? International Week of Science and Peace. Sorry. International Week of Science and Peace started yesterday on Sunday. It's still going until Saturday. So make sure to use that science to create peace, right? You know how we use science to create nuclear bombs? Let's not do that anymore. Let's figure out ways to make people live longer instead of killing them quicker. Also, today is World Science Day for Peace and Development, so it's the same thing again, but just the actual day for it. Celebrate it all week, also celebrate today. That's what the UN has to say about it. Celebrated every 10th November, World Science Day for Peace and Development highlights the significant role of science in society and the need to engage the wider public in debates on emergent scientific issues. The day aims to strengthen public awareness, promote national and international solidarity for science between countries, renew national and international commitment to the use of science to benefit societies, and draw attention to the challenges faced by science and ways to support the scientific endeavor. Because I'm sure after COVID-19, everyone experienced this, right? A lot of people going, I don't want to listen to people who know stuff and went to school and got PhDs. And instead, I'm going to listen to that guy who was famous for 15 minutes. He knows way more than the scientists. Don't be like that. Believe the scientists. They're not studying stuff to make stuff up. They're studying stuff to know the truth of how our universe works, how everything works. They're not trying to con you. It's crazy that we've gotten so used to celebrity con artists that we think the people who've never been con artists are the con artists. So give respect for the scientists out there. Applause for those guys. I'm really trying to waste some time. Ready to go. And this has been Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the US, as we finish off a Mucking Fun Day. New week has started. We'll see you tomorrow for Good Tuesday for some positive news. Less doom. So make sure you're following on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, and you have that bell turned on so you get notified when we live video. Now let's take us to the ringing of the bell from the Fitzgerald for our microphone.
Now to Michigan, where mourners will pay tribute today to one of the most famous maritime tragedies in modern history.
I don't know what it is.
The Edmund Fitzgerald.
A maritime tragedy.
From church services to lighthouse displays, people across the Great Lakes are marking the anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald, a massive cargo ship that went down on Lake Superior 50 years ago today.
Right?
It's become part of the Great Lakes culture, a tragedy
they had a church service
that we'd probably put in the same category as the
Titanic.
One time
a surprise storm catching the crew off guard. 15-foot waves and gale force winds battering the 729-foot cargo ship before knocking out radar and dragging her into the depths. 29 sailors were killed as thousands of tons of iron ore aboard the ship settled on the lake bed.
The general thought was, how could that happen? Because after all, it's just the Great Lakes.
The wreck stunning locals who had watched the so-called Big Fitz ferry shipments across the lake for years.
It was a grim day. When I got home from school, I heard that the Edmund Fitzgerald was sinking or had
They
sank,
tried some stupid tricky maneuver to avoid the storm.
Pretty frightening.
A year after the sinking, a folk song recounting the tragedy cemented the ship's place in history.
There's the upside down part.
let's go. They have a song for it. Oh wait, no, we did this last year.
No shit.
Turning the tail of
We
the
did
ship
that
talking
song
about this
last
the whole
year
time.
for my
the wreck of the Edmund
It's a
Fitzgerald.
whole story
Song that
about it.
reemerged in recent years on social media, educating
No,
a new
I'm saying we
generation
listened to
about
that
what
song
happened
about this
on
last
November
year. That was
10th,
our mic drop moment. That song.
1975.
The church bell chimed and 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald.
I've heard the song 7 million times.
29
Yeah, I
sailors
know.
died, but memorials now add a
that's
third
why I
It's
string of
referred
the
to
bells
it
for
like
Gordon
50 times
Lightfoot,
in the
who
story.
died in 2023.
So, yeah.
There you go. I
pretty
guess there's
fake.
the no bell ringing.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons. And follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.